Hi everyone, I'm Jackie and I'm here to help you with your U.S. naturalization process. During your naturalization interview, the officer will review your N-400 application. Some officers might ask some or all of the questions in Part 9. It's important to understand the questions in order to answer them correctly. Today, I'll go over the questions and provide you definitions of the words. Let's start. Part 9. Additional information about you. Questions 1 through 4. Have you ever claimed to be a U.S. citizen? Have you ever claimed to be a U.S. citizen? Have you ever? Anywhere in the world at any time. Anywhere in the world at any time. Claim. To say something without proof. To say something without proof. Claim to be a U.S. citizen. To say you are a U.S. citizen. To say you are a U.S. citizen. Have you ever registered to vote or voted in any federal, state, or local election in the United States? Have you ever registered to vote or voted in any federal, state, or local election in the United States? Register. To sign up. To sign up. Vote. To choose a leader. To choose a leader. Register to vote. Sign up to choose a leader. Sign up to choose a leader. Do you currently owe any overdue federal, state, or local taxes in the United States? Do you currently owe any overdue federal, state, or local taxes in the United States? Owe. Need to pay. Need to pay. Overdue. Late for a payment. Late for a payment. Overdue taxes. Didn't pay taxes on time. Didn't pay taxes on time. Since you became a lawful permanent resident, have you called yourself a non-resident alien on a federal, state, or local tax return, or decided not to file a tax return because you considered yourself to be a non-resident? Since you became a lawful permanent resident, have you called yourself a non-resident alien on a federal, state, or local tax return, or decided not to file a tax return because you considered yourself to be a non-resident? File a tax return. Send a tax form to the government. Send a tax form to the government. Non-resident. Someone who doesn't live in the U.S. Someone who doesn't live in the U.S. Alien. Someone who is not a U.S. citizen. Someone who is not a U.S. citizen. Questions 5 and 6. Have you ever been a member of, involved in, or in any way associated with any communist or totalitarian party anywhere in the world? Have you ever been a member of, involved in, or in any way associated with any communist or totalitarian party anywhere in the world? Associated with, connected to, connected to. Involved in, took part in, took part in. The Communist Party. A group that believes the government should own and control everything. For example, North Korea. A group that believes the government should own and control everything. For example, North Korea. Totalitarian Party. A group that believes the government should control everything that people do. A group that believes the government should control everything that people do. All right, this is a really big, complicated question. Most likely the officer won't ask you all of these things, but you need to be familiar with hearing them. So here it goes. Have you ever advocated any of the following or been a member of, involved in, or in any way associated with any group anywhere in the world that advocated any of the following? Have you ever advocated any of the following or been a member of, involved in, or in any way associated with any group anywhere in the world that advocated any of the following? Advocate. To support and promote. To support and promote. Opposition to all organized government. Opposition to all organized government. Opposition. Going against something. Going against something. World communism. World communism. The establishment in the United States of a totalitarian dictatorship. The establishment in the United States of a totalitarian dictatorship. Establishment. Starting or creating a group. Starting or creating a group. The overthrow by force or violence or other unconstitutional means of the government of the United States or all forms of law. The overthrow by force or violence or other unconstitutional means of the government of the United States or all forms of law. Overthrow. To remove a government by force. To remove a government by force. Unconstitutional means. Methods that go against the Constitution. Methods that go against the Constitution. The unlawful assaulting or killing of any officer or officers of the government of the United States or of any other organized government because of their official character. The unlawful assaulting or killing of any officer or officers of the government of the United States or of any other organized government because of their official character. Unlawful. Against the law. Against the law. Assault. To attack violently. To attack violently. The unlawful damage, injury, or destruction of property. The unlawful damage, injury, or destruction of property. Or sabotage. 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 To intentionally damage or destroy something. To intentionally damage or destroy something. Have you ever been a member of, involved in, or in any way associated with, or have you ever provided money, a thing of value, services or labor, or any other assistance or support to a group that? Have you ever been a member of, involved in, or in any way associated with, or have you ever provided money, a thing of value, services or labor, or any other assistance or support to a group that? Used a weapon or explosive with intent to harm another person or cause damage to property. Used a weapon or explosive with intent to harm another person or cause damage to property. Weapon. A knife or a gun. A knife or a gun. Explosive. A bomb. A bomb. With intent. Purposely. Purposely. Engaged in kidnapping, assassination, or hijacking, or sabotage of an airplane, ship, vehicle, or other mode of transportation. Engaged in kidnapping, assassination, or hijacking, or sabotage of an airplane, ship, vehicle, or other mode of transportation. Engage. To participate. To participate. Kidnapping. Taking someone away illegally by force. Taking someone away illegally by force. Assassination. Killing someone famous or important. Killing someone famous or important. Hijacking. Taking control of a vehicle by force. Taking control of a vehicle by force. Threatened, attempted, conspired, prepared, planned, advocated for, or incited others to commit any of these acts. Threatened, attempted, conspired, prepared, planned, advocated for, or incited others to commit any of these acts. Threaten. To tell someone you're going to hurt them. To tell someone you're going to hurt them. Attempt. To try. To try. Conspire. To plan with others. To plan with others. Incite. To encourage. To encourage. Question 7. Have you ever ordered, incited, called for, committed, assisted, helped with, or otherwise participated in any of the following? Have you ever ordered, incited, called for, committed, assisted, helped with, or otherwise participated in any of the following? Participate. To be part of. To be part of. Torture. 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 To cause great pain to someone. To cause great pain to someone. Genocide. 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 To kill a group of people because of their religion or race. To kill a group of people because of their religion or race. Killing or trying to kill any person. Killing or trying to kill any person. Kill. To cause someone to die. To cause someone to die. Intentionally and severely injuring or trying to injure any person. Intentionally and severely injuring or trying to injure any person. Injure. To hurt someone. To hurt someone. Any kind of sexual contact or activity with any person who did not consent, or was unable to consent, or was being forced or threatened by you or by someone else. Any kind of sexual contact or activity with any person who did not consent, or was unable to consent, or was being forced or threatened by you or by someone else. Sexual contact or activity. Touching someone sexually. Touching someone sexually. Did not consent. Did not agree. Did not agree. Unable to consent. Could not agree. Could not agree. Not letting someone practice their religion. Not letting someone practice their religion. Causing harm or suffering to any person because of their race, religion, national origin, membership in a particular social group, or political opinion. Causing harm or suffering to any person because of their race, religion, national origin, membership in a particular social group, or political opinion. Questions 8 and 9. Have you ever served in, been a member of, assisted, or participated in any military or police unit? Have you ever served in, been a member of, assisted, or participated in any military or police unit? Serve. To work. To work. Assist. To help. To help. Military unit. The official army for a country. The official army for a country. Police unit. A group that enforces the law and stops crime. A group that enforces the law and stops crime. Have you ever served in, been a member of, assisted, or participated in any armed group? For example, a paramilitary unit, a self-defense unit, vigilante unit, rebel group, or guerrilla group? Have you ever served in, been a member of, assisted, or participated in any armed group? For example, a paramilitary unit, a self-defense unit, vigilante unit, rebel group, or guerrilla group? Armed group. A group that carries weapons. A group that carries weapons. Paramilitary unit. A group that acts like the military but is not official. A group that acts like the military, but is not official. Self-defense unit. A group that protects a community using weapons. A group that protects a community using weapons. Vigilante unit. A group that acts like the police, but is not official. A group that acts like the police, but is not official. Rebel group. A group that fights a government. A group that fights a government. Guerrilla group. A group that uses weapons to fight the military, police, or government. A group that uses weapons to fight the military, police, or government. Have you ever worked, volunteered, or otherwise served in a place where people were detained? For example, a prison, jail, prison camp, detention facility, or labor camp? Or have you ever directed or participated in any other activity that involved detaining people? Have you ever worked, volunteered, or otherwise served in a place where people were detained? For example, a prison, jail, prison camp, detention facility, or labor camp? Or have you ever directed or participated in any other activity that involved detaining people? Detain. To force to stay. To force to stay. Prison or jail. A place where the police keep people who have been arrested. A place where the police keep people who have been arrested. Prison camp. A camp to keep prisoners of war or political prisoners. A camp to keep prisoners of war or political prisoners. Detention facility. A place where people are forced to stay. A place where people are forced to stay. Labor camp. A place where people are forced to work. A place where people are forced to work. Direct. To be in charge. To be in charge. Questions 10 through 14. Were you ever a part of any group, or did you ever help any group, unit, or organization that used a weapon against any person or threatened to do so? Were you ever a part of any group, or did you ever help any group, unit, or organization that used a weapon against any person or threatened to do so? If you answered yes to 10A, then the officer might ask you the following questions. When you were a part of this group, or when you helped this group, did you ever use a weapon against another person? When you were a part of this group, or when you helped this group, did you ever use a weapon against another person? When you were a part of this group, or when you helped this group, did you ever threaten another person that you would use a weapon against that person? When you were a part of this group, or when you helped this group, did you ever threaten another person that you would use a weapon against that person? Have you ever sold, provided, or transported weapons, or assisted any person in selling, providing, or transporting weapons, which you knew or believed would be used against another person? Have you ever sold, provided, or transported weapons, or assisted any person in selling, providing, or transporting weapons, which you knew or believed would be used against another person? Have you ever received any weapons training, paramilitary training, or other military type training? Have you ever received any weapons training, paramilitary training, or other military type training? Have you ever recruited, enlisted, conscripted, or used any person under 15 years of age to serve in or help an armed group, or attempted or worked with others to do so? Have you ever recruited, enlisted, conscripted, or used any person under 15 years of age to serve in or help an armed group, or attempted or worked with others to do so? Recruit. To ask. To ask. Enlist. To sign up. To sign up. Conscript. To require to join. To require to join. Have you ever used any person under 15 years of age to take part in hostilities or attempted or worked with others to do so? Have you ever used any person under 15 years of age to take part in hostilities or attempted or worked with others to do so? Hostilities. Unfriendly behavior toward others. Unfriendly behavior toward others. Combat. To fight in a war. To fight in a war. Question 15. All right, the next section is about crime. Convicted. Found guilty of a crime under the law. Found guilty of a crime under the law. Alternative sentencing. A different way to punish someone instead of going to jail, such as community service. A different way to punish someone instead of going to jail, such as community service. Rehabilitative program. A program to help someone to recover from drugs or alcohol. A program to help someone to recover from drugs or alcohol. Clemency. Reduced a sentence. Reduced a sentence. Amnesty or pardon for. Forgiveness for crimes committed. Forgiveness for crimes committed. Have you ever committed, agreed to commit, asked someone else to commit, helped commit, or tried to commit a crime or offense for which you were not arrested? Have you ever committed, agreed to commit, asked someone else to commit, helped commit, or tried to commit a crime or offense for which you were not arrested? Crime. An action that breaks the law. An action that breaks the law. Offense. Minor crime. Minor crime. Commit a crime. To do something that breaks the law. To do something that breaks the law. Have you ever been arrested, cited, detained, or confined by any law enforcement officer, military official, or immigration official for any reason, or been charged with a crime or offense? Have you ever been arrested, cited, detained, or confined by any law enforcement officer, military official, or immigration official for any reason, or been charged with a crime or offense? Arrested. Caught by the police. Caught by the police. Cited. Given a ticket by the police. Given a ticket by the police. Detained. Forced to stay. Forced to stay. Confined. Jailed by the police. Jailed by the police. Charged. Formally told that you did something illegal. Formally told that you did something illegal. If you received a suspended sentence, were placed on probation, or were paroled, have you completed your suspended sentence, probation, or parole? If you received a suspended sentence, were placed on probation, or were paroled, have you completed your suspended sentence, probation, or parole? Sentence. A punishment under the law. A punishment under the law. Suspended sentence. Delayed sentence. Delayed sentence. Probation. Report to an officer regularly instead of jail time. Report to an officer regularly instead of jail time. Parole, or been paroled. Allowed to leave prison early. Allowed to leave prison early. Question 17. Have you ever engaged in prostitution, attempted to procure or import prostitutes or persons for the purpose of prostitution, or received any proceeds or money from prostitution? Have you ever engaged in prostitution, attempted to procure or import prostitutes or persons for the purpose of prostitution, or received any proceeds or money from prostitution? Prostitute. Someone who has sex for money. Someone who has sex for money. Prostitution. Having sex for money. Having sex for money. Procure. To encourage someone. To encourage someone. Proceeds. Money from a transaction. Money from a transaction. Have you ever manufactured, cultivated, produced, distributed, dispensed, sold, or smuggled any controlled substances, illegal drugs, narcotics, or drug paraphernalia in violation of any law or regulation of a U.S. state, the United States, or a foreign country? Have you ever manufactured, cultivated, produced, distributed, dispensed, sold, or smuggled any controlled substances, illegal drugs, narcotics, or drug paraphernalia in violation of any law or regulation of a U.S. state, the United States, or a foreign country? Cultivate. To grow a plant. To grow a plant. Distribute or dispense. To give out. To give out. Smuggle. To bring something illegally into the country. To bring something illegally into the country. Controlled substances. Drugs regulated by the government. Drugs regulated by the government. Narcotics. Illegal drugs such as heroin or cocaine. Illegal drugs such as heroin or cocaine. Drug paraphernalia. Equipment to make or use illegal drugs. Equipment to make or use illegal drugs. Have you ever been married to more than one person at the same time? Have you ever been married to more than one person at the same time? This is called polygamy. Have you ever married someone in order to obtain an immigration benefit? Have you ever married someone in order to obtain an immigration benefit? Obtain. To gain something. To gain something. Immigration benefit. Things like a visa, green card, or citizenship. Things like a visa, green card, or citizenship. Obtain immigration benefit. To gain things like a green card. To gain things like a green card. Have you ever helped anyone to enter or try to enter the United States illegally? Have you ever helped anyone to enter or try to enter the United States illegally? Have you ever gambled illegally or received income from illegal gambling? Have you ever gambled illegally or received income from illegal gambling? Illegal. Against the law. Against the law. Gamble or gambling. To play a game for money. To play a game for money. Illegal gambling. To play a game for money that is against the law. To play a game for money that is against the law. Have you ever failed to support your dependents or to pay alimony? Have you ever failed to support your dependents or to pay alimony? Support your dependent. To pay child support. To pay child support. Pay alimony. To give money to an ex-spouse after a divorce. To give money to an ex-spouse after a divorce. Have you ever made any misrepresentation to obtain any public benefit in the United States? Have you ever made any misrepresentation to obtain any public benefit in the United States? Misrepresentation. Lying about who you are or something you did. Lying about who you are or something you did. Public benefit. Money from the government, such as food stamps. Money from the government, such as food stamps. Questions 18 through 22. Have you ever given any U.S. government officials any information or documentation that was false, fraudulent, or misleading? Have you ever given any U.S. government officials any information or documentation that was false, fraudulent, or misleading? False. Not true. Not true. Fraudulent. To claim something that is not true. To claim something that is not true. Misleading. Telling others something that is not true. Telling others something that is not true. Have you ever lied to any U.S. government officials to gain entry or admission into the United States or to gain immigration benefits while in the United States? Have you ever lied to any U.S. government officials to gain entry or admission into the United States or to gain immigration benefits while in the United States? Lie. To say things that are not true. To say things that are not true. Have you ever been placed in removal, rescission, or deportation proceedings? Have you ever been placed in removal, rescission, or deportation proceedings? Removal. Making someone leave the U.S. Making someone leave the U.S. Rescission. Canceling a visa to stay in the U.S. Canceling a visa to stay in the U.S. Deportation proceedings. Legal process of forcing someone to leave the U.S. Legal process of forcing someone to leave the U.S. Have you ever been removed or deported from the United States? Have you ever been removed or deported from the United States? deported. Forced to leave the U.S. Forced to leave the U.S. The next few questions are for male applicants only. Are you a person born as a male who lived in the United States at any time between your 18th and 26th birthdays? Are you a person born as a male who lived in the United States at any time between your 18th and 26th birthdays? And if so, did you register for the Selective Service? And if so, did you register for the Selective Service? Selective Service. Registered in the U.S. Armed Forces required by law. Registered in the U.S. Armed Forces required by law. And if you did register, can you please provide your information about your registration? And if you did register, can you please provide your information about your registration? I'm going to skip questions 23 through 29 since they don't apply for most applicants. Questions 30 through 37. Do you now have, or did you ever have, a hereditary title or an order of nobility in any foreign country? Do you now have, or did you ever have, a hereditary title or an order of nobility in any foreign country? Hereditary title. The title you receive when you are born into a royal family, such as a prince or princess. The title you receive when you are born into a royal family, such as a prince or princess. Order of nobility. A position given by a king or queen. A position given by a king or queen. And if you answered yes, are you willing to give up any inherited titles or orders of nobility that you have in a foreign country at your naturalization ceremony? And if you answered yes, are you willing to give up any inherited titles or orders of nobility that you have in a foreign country at your naturalization ceremony? All right, the next set of questions is very important. These have to do with the oath of allegiance, and the officer will likely ask you this at your interview. Now, in the old Part 12, there were 6 questions, and they were all yes answers. They've thrown in one other question that might be a no for you, so listen up. Do you support the Constitution and form of government of the United States? Do you support the Constitution and form of government of the United States? Constitution. The supreme law of the land. The supreme law of the land. The form of government in the U.S. Republic. Republic. Do you understand the full oath of allegiance to the United States? Do you understand the full oath of allegiance to the United States? Oath. A promise. A promise. Allegiance. To be loyal to something. To be loyal to something. Oath of allegiance to the United States. A promise to be loyal to the United States. A promise to be loyal to the United States. Are you unable to take the oath of allegiance because of a physical or developmental disability or mental impairment? Are you unable to take the oath of allegiance because of a physical or developmental disability or mental impairment? For most of you, this question should be no, but the rest of these questions should be yes. Are you willing to take the full oath of allegiance to the United States? Are you willing to take the full oath of allegiance to the United States? If the law requires it, are you willing to bear arms on behalf of the United States? If the law requires it, are you willing to bear arms on behalf of the United States? Bear arms. To carry weapons. To carry weapons. Bear arms on behalf of the United States. To use a gun to defend the United States during a war. To use a gun to defend the United States during a war. If the law requires it, are you willing to perform non-combatant services in the U.S. Armed Forces? If the law requires it, are you willing to perform non-combatant services in the U.S. Armed Forces? Perform non-combatant services. Do work that is not fighting in a war. Do work that is not fighting in a war. Example of non-combatant services. Nursing, cooking, or translation. Nursing, cooking, or translation. If the law requires it, are you willing to perform work of national importance under civilian direction? If the law requires it, are you willing to perform work of national importance under civilian direction? Civilian. Anyone who is not in the military. Anyone who is not in the military. Perform work of national importance under civilian direction. Do non-military work during a national crisis. Do non-military work during a national crisis. Example of work of national importance under civilian direction. Helping the Red Cross after an earthquake. Helping the Red Cross after an earthquake. All right, that's it. I know that was a lot of words, a lot to process, But stay tuned because I will have new videos out about this new N400 form. All right, good luck. Bye.